Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends. And remember, no matter who you are valid. And welcome to this, a brand new day. It is wet and rainy outside, and I am real close to a major traffic line. So that's why you hear vehicles outside, because I keep my windows open. And even with the windows shut, you'd still be able to hear them, just not as loud. But it is a brand new day. It is wet and raining. It is around noonish. Some days, especially on therapy day, it is hard for me to get moving. Yay! But I'm going to be getting out for walkies, and I'm going to be doing stuff, and that's a good thing. Now, I had mentioned that I used the printer, and so I printed off some stuff like this, the Intergalactic Space Trader game by the guy who also does 2D6 Dungeon. This is, if you've ever heard of the game Elite Dangerous, or any of those elite trading games where you fly through space, planet to planet, trading, well, that's what this is, just in analog form. Literally, you have a ship, and you're generating star systems, and then you land on planets, you generate the planets, and you figure out what the planet is like, what they want to trade, and then you fly from planet to planet, picking up stuff to trade and sell between them. So thumbs up for that. And so I've got that printed out, and that's a good thing. Yay! So I've got things that I'm working on, and I'm glad that that's printed. There is something that I don't have here, but it is, I've shown that there is the game called The Drifter, which is a Western game where you're a High Plains drifter. The person that's done that game has also done things like Star Drifter, where it's a science fiction sandbox, almost exactly like that, just with a science fiction flair. Somebody else looked at it and said, you know what, I think I can do that just a little bit differently and more along the way I would like it. And so that's really cool. I've downloaded that, printed it out. I want to play that for the channel too, so definitely a thumbs up. Yay! So I still have board games and solo RPGs and all sorts of stuff that I want to show off, and that is a very good thing. Yay! Again, as I've mentioned, I buy these things for me, but because I enjoy them, I want to show them off on the channel. So yay on that. Hopefully today I'm going to be able to get some Fallout New Vegas recorded. I haven't been able to do much of that because of the weather and my depression and the dysfunction, executive issues that I have, along with all sorts of other stuff. So I try to get done as much as I can, but there's days when because of all of my various things where sometimes just sitting is all I can do, aside from getting up and going for walkies. But mental effort sucks. Yay! Thumbs up for that. I have been I have been drinking tea like an absolute madman, largely because I have stopped drinking sodas again. I had stopped doing that before because I have damaged my kidneys in the past through dehydration, and so I want to treat my kidneys nicely. They originally called a lot of sodas phosphates because of the high phosphates, or, you know, whatever reasons. But there's a lot of phosphates in colas and such like that, the darker drinks. They damage your kidneys. So I've been, since I got back from going into Port Orchard from being homeless, I have been drinking sodas because that was the best way that I could find to stay hydrated. We just have low flow stuff here. When I go to fill, I have an electric kettle that I make my tea with. It holds like, maybe 2 liters in it. Well, not even that. A little over a liter and some. I fill it to 0.75. I turn on the water, and then I walk away and do some other stuff for about 30 seconds. And when I come back, it's gotten up to about a quarter of the container filled. And then I just have to sit and wait for it to finish going all the way up. It literally takes, to fill up just a regular coffee cup about 30 seconds of the sink flowing before I get enough water to fill the cup. So low flow, I mean, that's the way life is. If you live in an older building, then no, you don't have low flow stuff unless they've been retrofitted. If you live in any of the newer buildings, then everything I'm describing is stuff you already know. So thumbs up on that. But yeah, so I'm still drinking a lot of tea though, and having to wait forever for it to go through that. But I'll fill up the kettle to 75% of a full liter, boil that up. I have 2 cups that I put tea bags into, and then I drink those, and I drink about at least 6, sometimes 8 or more cups of tea. But since I do it 2 cups at a time, and altogether it's almost a full liter, those 2 of them. Doing pretty good. Now, so far I'm drinking herbal teas and green tea because I need caffeine. And so I've got the caffeine from that and then the flavor from the other stuff. I pretty much like I think I mentioned before, having a lot of saliva gather on this side, on the inside of course, not out here, but it's quite a pain. Lemon and ginger for flavor, and then a stated green tea, sometimes with mint, sometimes not, for the actual caffeine. Since I've stopped taking caffeine tablets, which has ruined my sleep even worse than it's always been. So now with no stimulants before I go to bed, I can't sleep and I have horrific insomnia worse than I've had before. Now that I am lowering my caffeine content by drinking less soda, so that's joyous. I got enough to keep parts of me going because there are actual physical and mental, physical and mental benefits to being addicted to caffeine while getting your fix. You do function better mentally. You do function better physically when you are addicted to caffeine and getting your fix. So there are benefits to it, just as there are negatives. So I've stopped taking the 200 milligram capsules and I'm lowering my caffeine content by accident because I am stopping the sodas, which is, again, I drink a lot of tea for hydration. Thumbs up. At least it's moderately cheap. You can get like 40 tea bags at Walmart for like $3. So that's not too terrible. Yay! Oh, and of course the rice story. Last night I made up some basmati rice. First thing I did, again, a bit of soy into the water when I started up, soy sauce, a little bit of Tabasco. Now, I forgot to mention this before. I have both a container that you refrigerate of minced garlic, and I have a dried minced garlic that you just shake after you grab it off the thing. I've been using that while I've been putting in the soy and Tabasco. So I put in the soy, Tabasco, and the garlic, and then I had to go off to there to do some stuff in the community center. I came back, and again, oh my God. My apologies. I just walked in, and the cooking rice thing there, it smelled so good. The rice with all the seasonings, all 3 of them that I had put in, was delicious smelling. And when it was all done, well, before I finished, I added the curry, a little bit of curry, and then some sweet basil. And then I finally looked that up, for it is pronounced basil, the herb. And then mix that up and then let it cook. And it is so good. Once again, God, I am so sorry I have such a buildup of saliva on this side. Ugh, it's driving me nuts and I'm sure it looks awful. But, and also it sounds terrible. But, like there is Confused Owl mentioned in the comments that they, hearing me talk about rice so much, they're very interested now in eating some of this rice like this. If in any way anything I have said to you has sunk in and you feel like you want to do it, make sure jasmine rice, basmati rice, and when it's jasmine, either brown or regular, and then just cook it up in a rice cooker. Do not pick any just generic rice stuff. If it just says like rice or anything like that, you need to know what kind, and it's just so good. It is so good. I eat rice every single day, almost every single meal. This is shaking around, and I guess I don't know if it's the floor, but my tablet keeps shaking, and I don't know if it's the wind or what, because I'm not touching the stand that it's on. Huh. Anyway, though, rice, good stuff. So yeah, as soon as I finish getting this all done, I'm heading out for walkies. Whether or not I have to take my umbrella or not, I don't know or care. That was one thing I did talk with my therapist about. Because this is so small, I like it. Easier for me to take care of. At the same time, because it's so small, I get out more often because it's a tiny cracker box. And while I'm comfortable with this for most of the day, I start getting cabin crazy. And that's good. So I can get out and I don't just stay in here, which if it was a bigger place, I wouldn't be feeling that impetus to get out. And I'd having to be pushing, and I might not be able to push so well. So, yeah. If/when/ inevitably I end up moving somewhere else, I mean, I don't know when, what, or how. I mean, if this place falls apart or something happens or, whatever, I need to find a place that's like comparable in size. I don't need a place that's got like a bedroom. A studio apartment is fine. Like a 300 square foot studio apartment would be just about the maximum of what I can take care of properly. So thumbs up on that. Yay. So yeah, I am just going to do some Fallout New Vegas, I hope. I'm hoping to either do some of this or get back into Torch in the Darkness, get into the second dungeon. Don't know how well I'm going to do with my damaged armor, but there you go. We shall see. So, well, I mean, there's a little bit more. I mean, I'm still thinking about all sorts of things on my fictional setting, and in fact, yeah. And in fact, on the whole making up the background for the setting thing, for the setting for the solo RPG stuff, I'm putting so much work into this that I don't even know if I'll be able to do anything with it now. Because I have decided that because there was, some tens of thousands of years ago, a volcanic eruption on this world that sank a land bridge and put up a great amount of stuff, that there was a split between the elves. And so these elves over here ended up on this continent that was not as nice back then, and so there was a lot of species differentiation. They became the goblin races. Over here, there were they didn't have it as bad, so they were fine. I also figure though, hey, there was some split off onto another southern continent. The humans are starting to push up in this direction, so because some time back there was a split between the elves that made the goblin races, even further back that there is a common ancestor between elves and humans, and it was the humans that branched off from the elven races. So, coming up with a full background on that. Yay! Will I be able to even play it now that I'm putting so much into it? Who knows? It's fun just to create. And yeah, still thinking on my other stuff. Talking about cryptid things for a while. I mean, I can't remember if anyone remembers names and characters, but I've talked about how there is two young dark cryptid and a light cryptid, Jimmy and Polly. I haven't really dealt too much with Jimmy's family, but I know Polly's family. Her parents are Alan and Clausy, two urban cryptids that they live as their ancestors have done for hundreds of thousands of years, a little better than animals, which is they just do cryptid stuff without really dealing with humanity much. Big split between Alan and Clausy, though, in the way they deal with stuff, in that Alan loves people. He likes dealing with people. He's always around those that have their third eye open, and he's just he does stuff, and when he sees people that he calls his friends, he goes over to talk to them. And while he dotes on Clausy and he can't live without her and he spends most of his time with her, he also spends time with people. Clausy likes people too, but we drive her nuts, and so she doesn't hurt anyone. She doesn't spend as much time around people. We frustrate her because she hates using her brain for stupid stuff like thinking or thought processes. And we're always we're standing around and thinking all the time. And if we're not thinking, we're walking around and talking about thinking with other people. It drives her nuts. She gets so frustrated. So she spends more time away from people so she doesn't hurt anyone. Now, Alan and Clausy, over the past 20 years, have eaten 14 people. Clausy is the one that actually does the killing, but she doesn't actually like to kill. One of the very, very few, but they are out there, cryptid types where she wants to eat someone, but she doesn't just want to kill them because she feels sorry for us when we start screaming. So she indirectly does it. Alan meets Clausy when she is standing by the side of a road next to somebody, and when this truck comes by, she just shoves the guy into the road and whack by the truck. And so, hey, she starts to eat. Alan comes up, and then they become a couple, and they eat the guy. And then, yeah, Clausy, like I said, over the past 20 years, they've eaten about 14 people. About every year and a half, they get hungry. Well, she gets hungry. Alan would be fine not having to do that, but because Clausy, well, he'll do anything for her. Now, the two of them, though, they also spend, because of they're just cryptids that don't really try to integrate with humanity, they deal with their cryptid friends. So they're always eating little bits and pieces of people constantly, because their friends have no compunction about like just doing awful stuff, because hey, they may like people, but that's because we're nice and friendly, and boy do we taste good. So they're always having a constant slow trickle of humanity down their throats. Just they don't like to actually hurt people. Now, Clausy's parents, they actually only ate 2 people. Both of her parents, they only ate someone when they were younger, and then when they were older. And then before that, the previous generation, well, they only generally just had 1 person. And then the previous generations before that, well, you had to be starving to be able to overcome your act within your nature and actually eat someone as a light cryptid. But times change and things change, and light cryptids are actually starting to get hungry. So yay! So still working on that, and also thinking I'm putting all this much effort into this other setting. It's like, well, you know, why don't I try using the setting I've got for a sandbox thing as well? You know, I've got the inside and the razor's edge, and I've got the cryptid world. Why don't I try doing a sandbox thing for myself in that setting, see how it works out? So I'll probably try that too. Yay! So I am just going to go out, do walkies, do some recording, do my best. Hopefully you're going to do your best, and if you can't, well, try again next time. But don't beat yourself up, it isn't going to help. For every one of my Patreon patrons, thumbs up, thank you so much. Your help is greatly, greatly appreciated. Without your help, I would be a badly hurting monkey. With your help, I'm only a hurting monkey. I'm a U.S. citizen. We're all hurting monkeys right now. Thank you so much, it is appreciated. When I can, I will be having your names up here. Even though I'm waving my arms around right now, it is kind of sparkly, and when I type, it gets sparkly and painful fast. So, as soon as I can, names. But until that time, when you look in the mirror, you are looking at someone who is both beautiful and awesome. For everybody that leaves me a comment, thumbs up and thank you. It is appreciated to no end. I can't answer as many comments as I would like, but I do thumbs up and heart as many as I can. So greatly, greatly appreciated. Definitely. And of course, for engagement, just to let YouTube know that people still do watch my videos periodically, we have to do whatever we can for the algorithm. Iron Helm, if you could write that in the comments for engagement, that would be cool. Thumbs up and thank you. But until that time, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very, very good thing. I know I need to have color on the backgrounds behind me so that my skin and hair don't just blend into the white background. I am frighteningly Caucasian. Take care, and I'll talk to you later.